Hi guys, welcome back to Chats with Jax. Okay, today's podcast is going to be a little bit of exposing myself, but nonetheless, a lot of these things weren't my fault in life, so give me grace. But we're going to be talking about the bad luck that I just have with cars. And I'm talking from car accidents to lemon law to tickets to getting pulled over. Getting pulled over was my fault, but the other ones you got to give me grace about. So it all started when I was 17 years old. I was cursed. Okay, no, but I have the absolute worst luck with cars, okay? So basically it's every car that I have ever owned, something bad has happened to me in it. And that's terrible, except for this one, which all this explains the anxiety that I have being in a car. I always think I'm going to get in a car accident. I fear that Penny's going to get in a car accident. Every time I'm at a stop sign, I'm looking to see if someone is not paying attention, if they're going to crash into me. I don't know. I try to avoid the freeway. Unless I'm going on a road trip, that's fine, but I have the worst. I am the worst passenger princess. I'm not a passenger princess because I cannot relax. Okay? Anyone who's driving and I am in the passenger seat, shoot, I could even be in the back seat. I am pumping the brakes. I am flinching. I have such bad anxiety. I'm like this, I overreact. I know I do. But it's for good reason. But let's get into it. So the first time that I've ever been in a car accident was when I was 17 years old. And this one was my fault. I'll give it to you. This was my fault. So my mom had a truck. This is terrible of me. I was such a selfish child for this because we only had one family car. Okay. We were not rich. My mom had a truck, and when I was 17, I was a senior, and I had a really good friend named Marissa who lived down the street from me, and Marissa had a permit. Okay. She was able to drive, and it was really cool. But of course I didn't have a permit because my mom could not afford any of that. My mom was a single mom, barely making those ends meet. I wasn't that kid that got their license, or I was in driving school at 16 years old, right? I wasn't going to get a car unless I bought it for myself. I don't know why. There's this thing about me, guys, that things look easy. Things look so easy. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, no, I could do that. And for some reason, when I was 17 years old, driving looked easy to me. It looked easy, and I was like, all you do is make a left and a right turn, and press the pedals and you press the brakes. Nobody taught me how to drive, by the way. It just looked easy. And my friend Marissa, she would drive around. I would go in the car with her. But anyway, it was one day in high school, after school, and I told Marissa, I said, hey, do you want to go to the gym with me? And she's like, yeah, but I just don't have my car today. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Let me ask my mom. Maybe you could just drive my mom's car. So I go to my mom and I'm like, hey, mom, can I go to the gym? Marissa will drive. She has her permit. And my mom's like, no, I'm not going to do that, And I was like, come on, she has her permit. She drives all the time. Please. Actually, I don't even think I said permit. I think I said license. She has her license. I said, Marissa has her license. So my mom, after 20, 30 minutes, I kind of convinced her, and she allowed me to take the truck to Marissa. So Marissa had to walk to my house, I believe. She walked to my house, and I get in the car. And I think this is what happened because this is how it played out in my head. The whole time, Marissa was not going to drive. I was. Okay. And I cannot remember if Marissa knew that or not, but I feel like either she knew that I wanted to drive, or she found out when she got into the car. So I said, Marissa, I want to drive. This can't be hard, right? So I lived out in the country at this time with my mom, and I said, let's just take the back roads, okay? And the back roads, they're pretty back roady. I'm an idiot. I pass, the back roads is passing the sheriff's office, passing an airport, passing industrialized buildings. Okay. Anyway, we start driving and we're on the back roads. We pass the sheriff's office. Everything's good. I feel I'm doing great. I feel I'm doing amazing. Well, I see the sharp turn sign. Okay, I don't even know what that means because I don't drive. Sharp turn, like literally sharp turn, like be careful. And if you're from Madeira, this happened where the airport's at, okay? I don't know, it's not the sheriff's office, it's highway patrol, I think, maybe, I don't know. But this happened where the airport was at. It said sharp turn. I'm like, yeah, this is easy. Well, I didn't realize how sharp the turn was. I ended up going in the other lane, crashing into that car, and we ended up in the middle of a field. This is not funny. This is not funny. Like, this is not funny. I can't believe I have kids of my own now. So, we end up in the middle of the field, and I'm like, oh, shit. I am in some deep shit. But anyway, no matter what, I still call my mom. Like, Mom, I got into a car accident. She's like, what? Like, she freaked out. She's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm right here by the airport drive on that sharp turn, blah, blah, blah. She literally came within like 3 minutes. Like, see, I didn't even make it like 3 minutes past my house. Okay, guys, this is how bad it was. Mom had to come and do her thing. I crashed into the other people. It was definitely my fault. Me and Marissa did not make it to the gym. I was never able to drive after that. Who made me this irresponsible? Like, seriously, at 17 years old. People were doing drugs, though, like in high school. I wasn't. So I call that a win. Driving without a license, I call that a win, okay? I feel really bad because I'm pretty sure I traumatized my friend Marissa, and I traumatized myself. And I'm sorry, Marissa, if you're watching this. I'm sorry for the trauma that I've caused you. Oh my God. So listen, after this, I graduated at 17 years old, and I got a job at 17 years old too at Baskin Robbins, and I was just getting rides to work all the time. So that's kind of like how I got to work. But then when I was 18, I did end up getting my license, and I don't know who taught me how to drive. I don't even know how I passed. See, maybe I shouldn't have been on the road because I failed my test 1 million times. Okay, 6 times. I'm just admitting everything. This is confessions of Jackie. Okay. So this is the problem, guys. I'm a horrible test taker, and I didn't learn how to be a good test taker until I got to college, but 2 years into college, okay, when I transferred to Clovis Community. I was just again, things seem easy to me, right? Things seem like common sense. Well, guess what? Jackie doesn't have any common sense, okay? I need to know verbatim. I need to actually study. I need to picture myself. Whatever it is happening, I need to picture myself it happening. I failed my quiz or whatever it is on the last time. I think you get 3 tries, right? Well, I think I was on my 5th one. And then on that 3rd time, I passed it. And then I was able to do the driving test at 18. So I ended up passing. I can't remember who taught me how to drive. I don't know who taught me how to drive. Well, that doesn't matter. Anyway, I turned 18 years old. And the first car that I ever got was from my ex-boyfriend's mom. Literally, she's so amazing. Heaven sent. Love her to death. Still do. She's an amazing person. She helped me with a lot of things. But one thing that she did for me, which was so, so cool, was she had a car. She had a Hyundai Elantra. And it was such a cute little compact car. Well, she only owed a certain amount of money on it. And she ended up just letting me take over the loan, which I put it in my name and all that stuff. But that was so sweet. She wanted to help me. She wanted me to succeed. She knew my situation, trying to find rides and everything. So I 100% appreciate her for that. I give her flowers. She was amazing. She let me just get the car, right? I get the car under my name, and it's not a lot of money. And we're talking just a few $1,000s. And my payments were so low. It was $130. That's so good for an 18-year-old who has to, at this time I was working at Baskin Robbins. I didn't have bills except for the car and my insurance. So, my Hyundai always died on me, okay? Always died. The battery, I always and constantly ran into an issue where my battery just turned off in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't understand. Like I was always at AutoZone changing the battery out, and then the AC would go out multiple times. It was just like always giving me problems and issues. That was something that I was frustrated about, but then by this time the car was paid off, and I was like, man, I always had a dream of like getting like a Jeep, a really beautiful black Jeep lifted, and all these beautiful things, about a car, but I didn't end up getting it. But anyway, I was like, oh yeah, I'll save up for a Jeep like one day, so let me just keep this car. It's already paid off. I paid it off in the matter of time that I did. I found out that Jeeps were expensive. And they weren't like the best cars like to be driving, like safety wise. I ended up getting a job at 19 years old with AT&T. And then I started making like good money. Okay. Like I wasn't making Baskin Robbins money. Okay. I was only working part-time and I was making really good money. I was like, okay, I think I can afford myself a car. So the Hyundai was still giving me problems. So I was like, you know what? Let me see like if it's worth it for me to like trade in the car or sell it or do whatever to get me like a better car, because I was just having too many issues, it felt like. And I didn't know if, like, now that I think about it, I don't know if the Hyundai was like a lemon. I don't know if that was a problem like in the Hyundai world, that the cars just kept turning off. So anyway, it was a good car, did great for me, and I loved it. But I ended up trading it in for a Toyota RAV. Okay. This Toyota RAV was like the ultimate mom car at the time for me. Okay, I had 2 dogs. I had Royce and I had Maddie, and we would just be cruising it everywhere, right? It was really fun. It was cool. And it was so me because I was very adventurous at such a young age. I loved going to the mountains, and I wanted something sporty, momish, where my family could fit in the car, things like that. I got that car, and a year later, 19, 20, 21. I only had that car for I think 3 years, maybe 2 years. But a year into the car, I ended up letting my brother freaking drive the car, and I ended up letting my brother drive the car, right? While I was gone in Europe. And I come back and there's a freaking crack across the entire windshield. I was so freaking pissed. Like, oh my God, I was so annoyed. Nobody in my family wanted to tell me who it was, but whatever. Anyway, the first car accident though that I got in with the Toyota was, I was on my way to the Madeira AT&T where I worked at, and I was making a left turn. I was listening to that one song, "Baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your car." Is that how it goes? Something like that, I was jamming. I was like so excited. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny and it was amazing. And I'm making a left turn and I'm singing the song. I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm 2 minutes away from work. Bam! Sideswiped. Is it called sideswipe? Well, the lady didn't see that it was a stop sign, and she push. So yeah, I got into an accident there. And it was such a weird accident because she didn't have insurance. And I still went to work afterwards. Like, that was dumb. Like, I wish I called in. That was really dumb that I still went to work. I ended up getting a lawyer for that because she didn't have insurance and I didn't know how to deal with this. So I got a lawyer. Honestly, it was so worthless to get a freaking lawyer. My experience with lawyers so far when it comes to cars are just ripoffs to me. Like, I feel like I do a better job at being a lawyer. Okay. Like, I feel like let me just look it up. I'll tell you what, let me argue with you. Okay. Cause I can argue all day, but I didn't know at this time because I was only 19 years old, I think. That was the first time I got my car fixed, and that's perfect. Literally the day that I go pick up my check from the first car accident, okay, from the lawyer's office, I get into a car accident. Literally, I went to go pick up the check. I go back to Madeira. Me and Mariah are headed to Fresno to go out and go have fun. I think we were going to a concert. I get into a freaking car accident on the 99. Maybe that's why like the freeway just scares me, because we're driving and the 99, if you guys are from the Central Valley, It is the worst freeway because I don't know how it just has 3 lanes and then just turns into 2 and then everything stops. And then people in the Central Valley just don't know how to drive, including myself, allegedly, just in case any cops watching this. No, I'm just kidding. No. Anyway, I'm going with the flow of traffic. Everything's great. And then everyone's slowing down. I'm slowing down. Go. This car behind me was on her phone or whatever. Black little Honda. Boom. Crashed into me on the 99. Dude, thank God we were okay. And thank God we were in the Toyota because the Toyota took a hit. Okay, half of it was smashed, but still, like that girl took a hit. And my airbags didn't even pop or anything. But anyway, this girl though, Honda girl, she got her car smashed. That was not cool. But she didn't have a license and she didn't have insurance. And I'm like, okay, I can understand the license thing, girl, but come on, you don't got no insurance on that car for uninsured motorist. But anyway, that gave me PTSD on the freeway driving. That was horrible to experience. Anyway, you best believe I still went out that night, brushed it off my shoulder. Don't know why, because I was sore the next day and that was awful. So anyway, then that happened. I used the same lawyer that I used for the Toyota RAV, and the Toyota ended up having to get totaled, okay? The damages were like $22,000 in damages, and my car only owed like $20,000. So it was just a total loss. That wasn't even including like things can go wrong later on with the car, right? So I'm just like, how annoying. I got this car. It was brand new. I got it brand new. And this is the second car accident that I've been in. And I'm just like, this car just feels tainted already to me. Like it just feels like bad luck, okay? Not to mention, I had so many parking tickets in this car. Those are my fault because I never liked paying for a parking pass at school. So I was going to Fresno City, Clovis Community, and I would always pay for like the $5 pass, which I don't know why. You know, something that bothered me about college is that like paying for a parking pass. Like we already pay for school, we have to pay for our books, and we have to do all this stuff. And then like I still have to come to your class every day. And you still want me to pay $100 for a parking pass? Like that doesn't seem fair at all. Like that seems awful. So I never did. And I would always get parking tickets. Like every day I'd come back and be like, oh shoot, I got a parking ticket because I didn't pay for a parking pass. Only one semester where I had my life together and I did buy a parking pass because I had some extra cash. But yeah, no matter where I go to this day, I feel like I'm always getting a parking pass. I have PTSD from that too, but school scarred me, okay? I had all these parking tickets. I had the cracked window. I had the door. Oh, and another thing too. I think like my cousin on the Toyota, she was backing up in her car. And I don't know how, but it messed up the frame of my door. So everything was just breaking or falling apart. It just looked so ghetto. My car looked just so ghetto, and I was so upset because this was my first big car, my first big purchase ever as a big girl. I was paying like $365 for this car a month, and it was just so much money at the time. And I was so pissed. So anyway, I get a total loss, and I have a rental for a month. Well, the rental that I have is about to expire, and I am trying to find a car. I'm trying to find the best deal, and I don't know what I want. I really, really do not know what the heck I want. I'm freaking out because I don't want a Toyota. I feel like I couldn't go with the Toyota anymore because that's tainted. I'm never going to do a Honda anymore because that's tainted. So I am not doing a truck because I got in that first car accident. So I didn't want another car with the same brand. Well, I was in like my professional era, okay? And I just thought a Lexus IS250 was the cutest thing ever. It was 2017 at this time, right? And there was this 2014 IS250 white with beige interior. I wanted white with beige interior, okay? So nobody in Central Valley had it. They always had like white with like black interior. Like, oh, I just didn't like it. Like, I just felt like I wanted to look like classy, you know what I mean? So I go to all the way to the Bay Area to try to get a car, okay? This is the last day that I have a freaking rental. So I take my cousin with me in the rental car. I'm like, dude, we have to leave with a car. We have to. So we get there. We try to buy the car. We're there until like 9, 10 at night, and we almost didn't get the car. I'm like, dude, I have nowhere I have nowhere to go. I don't have a car, so I need to leave with one today. And I ended up getting the Lexus, and it was like such a beautiful car to me. It was like $470 a month. Isn't that so cool in 2017? Like that's such a good payment compared to the next car that I got. I love that car. That car was honestly just a fun and super cute car. Okay. This is hilarious. I don't think I've ever said this story before, but when I first met Kenny, that was in 2017. Did I buy my car in 2017? Oh yeah. Oh my God. I bought it in 2017. So that's when I met Kenny, right? So I got into that car accident in August, and then I bought the car in September. Well, Kenny, I started dating him in November. Well, his family was in Idaho in December for Christmas. And I was like, he's like, hey, do you want to come and check out this house that my parents bought? And I'm like, sure, let's go. I'm always down for a road trip. Like, if you know me, I like some adventure. And I always said that if you're going to date somebody, you always need to go on a road trip with them, because you need to make sure, you need to know how they are on long road trips. Like, you need to know if you're going to get in arguments. Is it fun? Are you going to worry? What about money? Like, how do you talk about that? Who does this? Who does what? So I loved it. I was like, perfect. Let's put the test to our relationship, pedal to the metal. Okay. I am an experienced adventure seeker. Okay. But still not enough common sense to get me through certain things. Okay. Well, in Idaho, we're driving. Kenny and I are driving, and we took off, and he's driving my Lexus because he had a little red Honda at the time. And I was like, no, like, we're good. Like, let's take mine. We couldn't take his car. So anyway, it's in the middle of December. You have to pass like a corner of Oregon. You're going through Nevada, then you get to Idaho. And it was about a 12-hour drive, I think, or 10-hour drive. It's a 10-hour drive. And then I have never seen snowfall in my life. I've been to the snow, but I've never seen snow come down. Well, it was nighttime, right? And we're driving, and I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen snowfall before. This is so cool. And we're driving. We think it's so cool. And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have chains. And all I had on my little Lexus was this little snow button. And I don't know what that did. Okay. But I was like, well, let's just put the snow button on, because I think that's the only thing that's going to help us. We're in Nevada, guys. And this time, Kenny got pulled over in my Lexus, but I think he didn't get a ticket. Well, anyway, we stop at this gas station. It's the only thing that's open, because now it's like the middle of the night. We go, it is snowing. We need to put gas. And I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have chains for this car? And he's like, ooh, we don't. So something about the Lexus IS 250 is that you have smaller tires in the front and bigger tires in the back. And I was like, no freaking way. Like, there's no way. Like, there's no freaking chains right now. And how did we forget chains? Well, we did, and we had to leave without them. We ended up driving in the freaking heavy snowfall, guys. Oh my God, did this test my relationship with Kenny? Because we're driving up this hill. All snow. It's not paved. It's not paved. We're driving. We start sliding down. I'm like, oh my God, I am about to die with this man that I just started dating a month ago. Like, are you kidding me? Lord, like, please get me through this. Well, dude, Kenny just manned the F up, like got out the car, started digging some snow out of the way for me. I don't know how, with his bare hands. It was freaking freezing. And he ended up, like, we were sliding down, but he was able to, like, I don't know what he did, drive and grip up and go over this hill. I don't know how we didn't die. I have to be honest with you. I don't know how we didn't die over these freaking hills, because you're going in the middle of nowhere through these mountains trying to get to freaking Idaho. Well, anyway, I felt like the Lexus did save us. I mean, Kenny saved us too, but whatever little snow button on that Lexus IS 250 saved me. So there you go. Well, I have the Lexus, and it's treating me great. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Lexus at all, except for I did get a few speeding tickets in there, but the speeding is my problem. That was my problem. You don't know how fast you're going. You know what I mean? It's not my fault. Sometimes you're going and you don't know why you're going that fast. And I don't mean to go that fast. I don't want to, but yeah. So I've gotten some tickets in there, of course. I ended up loving the car. It was such a great car to me. Beautiful car. I ended up getting pregnant, right, with Penny. And Kenny and I were thinking like, oh, well, what kind of family car do we want? Because I don't like the Lexus was just too small in the back. Like we're not going to fit. We're just not going to fit. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to get a family car. And we're trying to figure out what the heck do we want? Well, I see the Super Bowl commercial and it's a Genesis. It's this beautiful Genesis. What the heck kind of car did I have? It was this new hybrid Genesis and it looked freaking gorgeous. It was like the Porsche dupe, okay? And I see it on the Super Bowl commercial and I'm like, yes, I want that car one day. Whenever it comes out, I want it. Well, I'm 20 weeks pregnant with Penny. It's December, a week before Christmas, and I'm not 20 weeks. I'm 18 weeks pregnant, I think, with Penny. I'm about 18 weeks pregnant with Penny. Kenny is in Idaho. I couldn't go because I had work, and I'm driving to go get blood work for Penny. And I'm on Herndon, which is like, it's like a busy street in Fresno, but it's also like the fastest street. I don't know. I like going down Herndon for some reason. So I'm going down Herndon and I am pulling up to a stoplight. There's a car in front of me. I always give people enough space, just in case somebody hits me. Well, guess what? Somebody hit me. Okay. This girl did not see. She was on her phone the entire time. The thing about Herndon, guys, is that you can get green lights all the way down and then one light will just surprise you and it'll be red. So you always got to be paying attention. So I think this girl, we were getting like all green lights all the way down and she ended up hitting me. Okay. And it caused my car to hit the car in front. And it was a 3-person car accident and I was in the middle. So I hit the person in front of me and that's how bad she hit me. Her car was completely totaled. This was such a crazy thing because, oh my God, it makes me want to cry. Like I have my anxiety so bad with this. Like I think this accident, because I was pregnant, it gave me, it freaked me out. Well, my airbag still didn't pop, which is crazy. I've never had an airbag pop on any of the car accidents that I've been in. All right, so now this is my 4th accident. My car is like turned to the side for some reason. The car that hit me is on the left side, faced this way. The car in front of me was up more, and then I was turned to the side. And like, I'm freaking the out, okay? I am freaking out. I'm crying. I'm trying to find my phone to call and I was hyperventilating like, I'm pregnant. And I could not freaking breathe. Like I felt like I was in this movie. I don't know what it was. I'm calling Kenny a million effing times and the dude is not answering. And I'm like, what the possible could you be doing right now and not answering my phone calls? And Kenny answers all my phone calls, okay? I can call that guy a million times a day and he's going to answer every single time. I do not know why this guy was not answering my phone calls. Well, now I know. At the time, I didn't. And he ends up calling me back and I was like, I got into a car accident. He was freaking snowmobiling. Like, that pissed me off. Like, why were you snowmobiling? I was in a car accident. Like, not that he knew I was going to get in a car accident, but it just made matters worse. Well, I had to pull my car off to the side. It was still, no, it wasn't drivable. We had to tow the car. We towed the car to a shop that I was well known with. So because this is my 4th car accident, I took all my cars to them. By the way, they're amazing. They're in Clovis. So if you ever need anybody, let me know. I had my friend Iris come pick me up and she had to drive me around. Well, now I don't have a car because that car, it took a couple weeks to find out that it was going to be totaled, like 100% totaled. Like there's no way that the car is not going to be good for me anymore. Well, the girl who hit me, that was her 2nd car accident that year. I'm just like, she felt terrible, but she had the most minimum liability too. Like I had to use my insurance or whatever. This time I did not go, which I should have probably because I was pregnant, go through a lawyer, but I didn't because I was pissed off from the lawyer the 2 times before. But I had to do all these extra tests for Penny and I had to make sure I was okay. And yeah, I just couldn't believe that happened to me. This is my car that just got totaled. And of course, I needed a new car. I don't know if the Lord was like, yeah, let's make this the way that we get your car. Like, I'm just kidding. I don't think the Lord did that. Like, let's do that. But I don't know why the universe was like, let's make sure you get your new car. Okay. I'm looking for cars everywhere, right? This is in the middle of COVID. This is 2022. It's still COVID. Cars, you cannot buy a car for the life of you. Okay. Everything is expensive. Everybody wants to overcharge you. Everybody is trying to make money and there's no inventory. There is no inventory. Well, I had my mind set on that Genesis that I saw on the Super Bowl commercial and there wasn't a Genesis in sight. What kind of Genesis did I have? It was like an SUV. It was like a crossover SUV type deal. And it was such a beautiful car. I freaking loved it so much. But I wanted it to be white and I wanted black interior and I wanted the sport and I wanted to make sure that, I got everything. I ended up getting paid out for my car. So my Lexus, that was a crazy part. I only owed, how much money did I owe on that car? Like $20,000, but I ended up getting like $30,000 for the car. I think. Something like that. Or no, did I owe $20,000? I don't know how much I owed, but like I got a lot of money back for that car, which I didn't understand, but whatever. I wasn't going to complain. I'm looking for the Genesis. I find one place in Santa Monica that was going to be getting a shipment in the middle of March or in the middle of February. So I put it on hold, paid $1,000. I'm so excited for this car. Like it's literally such a beautiful car. And this was my first, like I felt luxury car. So you know how like Honda is Acura and then Toyota is Lexus? Well, Hyundai is Genesis and that's like the designer of it. Well, I ended up getting the car. I was so excited. I put a lot of money down. Okay. I put a good chunk and I don't know why. I don't think I'll ever do this again, but I put about $10,000 down on the car to make my payment smaller or whatever. I don't know. I ended up financing the car. My payment was still pretty high, but it was something that I could manage and I could afford. I was working still. I was making money and it wasn't like a dent in my pocket at all. I get the car. I'm so stoked. I'm so excited. Beautiful car. And I got it in February. There's no problems. Nothing's wrong with the car at all until September. I'm driving. I'm at the stoplight. And you know those cars that like this type of car would turn off when you stop? Like, I don't know. It's like not hybrid, but it's to save gas. Or I don't know why cars do that. Do you guys know why cars do that? I have no clue why. The car stops and it doesn't turn on. And it's green. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what the heck? Like, I just got this car in freaking February. Like, this car better not be messing up. So I ended up calling them. I'm like, hey, you guys need to check this car. Like, I have warranty on it. Like, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. Well, I take the car in and they're like, hey, well, we checked the grounds of the car. I have no clue what grounds mean. And they're like, hey, we checked the grounds of the car. Nothing's wrong with it. Next time this happens to you, please record it. And I'm like, dude, I'm over here stressed out. If a car like just stops working, I'm going to be stressed out and I have to record. That's strange, you know? So I'm like, whatever. So anyway, I tell Kenny what happened. He doesn't really understand what's going on. He's like, that's never happened to me when I drove the car. I'm like, okay, bet. Well, 2 weeks later, that happened to me, end of August. So then 2 weeks later, September, I need to get Penny's birth certificate. So I tell Kenny, I was like, let's go get Penny's birth certificate at the Fresno downtown place. Well, we go get it and Kenny's driving Penny around and I get in the car. Finally, I'm done. We pull out, we're making a left turn. Okay. This is a left turn to get on to head to the freeway. We make a left turn. The car turns off completely and it is jerking. It is jerking while cars are coming left and right. Okay. Like they weren't coming, like we weren't like cutting people off, but like there were no cars, but if you just stay there and the light turned green, cars were going to come down, obviously. Right. Dude, I start fucking freaking out. I get my phone. I am shaking because I'm scared that Penny's going to get hit from the left side or from any other side. I'm just afraid that, something bad's going to happen to her. Well, then I start getting my phone. I record. The lights are all blinking. A million things are happening. to the car and I don't understand what's happening. So I go, for some reason, we get it jerked all the way to the left side. We ended up pulling over to the side. I have no clue what's going on. I'm freaking out and I feel like, okay, do we need a tow truck? Like, what do we do? This car, like, I can't even trust it. I was like, I do not want this car anymore. I said, like, this is crazy. There's no reason why my brand new car should have this problem. So I record the whole thing. We ended up being able to turn it back on and we got to our house to drive. But dude, it was the scariest drive there because I don't know what's going to happen. Being on the freeway and that happening is so scary. I ended up calling and I have video footage now, right? I have video footage. The first time I took it in, I told them what happened, but nothing happened. They didn't really believe me, I guess, because I need video proof. Well, now that I got video proof, I take it into Salma Genesis and I was like, hey, this is what happened. Well, they go under review and they look at the car and they're like, oh, it's your fault. The reason why the car stopped because you had it on cruise control. And I was like, what do you mean I had it on cruise control? That makes no sense. And they're like, yeah, you were trying to do 70 miles per hour on a lane that's 30 miles per hour. I said, that makes no sense. How was I trying to do that? Because they said that the cruise control light was on and they saw that it said, I don't know what it was. I don't know how they even got that. And I was like, that makes no sense. Why would I be on cruise control 70 miles per hour? I wasn't even on the freeway. And I was like, even at best, even if you're telling me that like it's my fault for being on cruise control, the car should be able to be on cruise control. That pissed me off. And I don't know what the heck was happening there. Well, the second time happened 3 weeks later. I still took the car because there's nothing I could do about it, right? It's not a lemon yet. It's not considered a lemon. By the way, a lemon is considered if 3 or more times, if you take your car into the shop for 3 or more times for the same problem, or if your car is in the shop for 30 or more consecutive days, then the car is a lemon. And I'm now freaking out because anytime I'm in the car, I already have PTSD from freaking car accidents. So I'm scared that Penny is just going to get ambushed in a car accident. And I should have freaking sued them for emotional damage. That's what it felt like. Well, every time I got in that car, I felt like something was going to happen to me. I didn't want to take the car anywhere. I was freaking out unless I had to. Well, literally 3 weeks later, I'm at Sam's Club. It's a freaking hot day. I'm getting in the car and the car doesn't turn on. It's completely stopped. It's completely stopped. The car does not turn on. The AC is blowing out hot air. I don't know what's going on. Engine fully wasn't turning on, but like you could turn on a little bit, I guess. And I record the same situation again. So I'm there for like 20 minutes with my cousin and Penny, and we're trying to figure out the car situation. We ended up turning on the car, and I try to back up, and then it just completely shuts down. And it's a freaking busy day at Sam's Club. So cars are going in and out, and I parked in the front. There wasn't much I could do. After about, I don't know, I felt like 40 minutes. I'm sweating. I'm recording everything. The car ended up turning on, and we ended up being able to drive home, but I was so scared. I was driving on Herndon, same place where I got in a car accident in the Lexus, and it's just freaking hot. It's still blowing out hot air. And I was like, okay, this is the third time that this has happened. This is ridiculous. Like, this is crazy. I sent it in again, and they're like, I don't know why this keeps happening to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is there anybody else having this problem? Like, this is a brand new car. I haven't even had it for a year. Like, there is something seriously wrong with this car. And I ended up asking, I was like, is this car a lemon? Like, who can I speak to about that? Because I ended up reading on the lemon law. And they're like, oh, we can't talk to you about that. Like, you'll have to talk to Genesis manufacturer. And I'm like, well, this is the Genesis of Selma. I don't know. It was weird that I couldn't speak to them about it, I guess. Not weird, but like to me at that time it was weird. So whatever. Well, I think after I take it in that last time from the Sam's Club situation, everything was fine for like a month. We're now in November, I think. And November comes and I'm leaving Kenny's parents' house. Okay. Me and Penny. Kenny is driving the Toyota at the time when we had a Toyota. We ended up leaving. I'm making a left turn and the car stops in the middle of ongoing traffic. Oh my God, guys. I'm screaming. I'm crying. I am so scared. I felt so bad because It's not a fast street where people were going, but I rolled down my windows. I'm screaming my head off. I'm calling Kenny, and I was like, the car stopped and there's cars coming. I felt so bad because this car like pulled over. It's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, like just don't hit me. Like, I just felt like, you have to imagine, I'm on the left side. So Penny is on my right side. She's on the right side. She's not behind the driver. She's behind the passenger. So she'd be the first one getting hit. So my anxiety was up the freaking roof. Okay. Well, I ended up pulling over and I record every situation again. And then I was like, nope, I've had it. I said, I am putting my kid's life at danger here now. I'm putting my life at danger. Like this is actually so bad. This is a brand new car. So I ended up taking it in again. It was like November or whatever. Was it November? Yeah, I ended up taking it in November. And do I have my dates correct? Yes, I do. I ended up taking it in November, and I contacted an attorney. And, you know, the attorney, he was a lemon law attorney. I tried contacting somebody in Fresno, but they were like, oh, I don't know. You're going to need to leave the car in there for 30 or more days. I'm like, no, the law literally says 3 or more times. And now this is my 4th time with the same problem. So anyway, I got all my documentation. The lawyer said, get my documentation, every service appointment, every single thing that I've had to complain about, and all the videos. So I sent all that information into the lawyer, and he was recommended by somebody. But guys, I don't know if I could recommend the lawyer to you, because a lemon law case is supposed to take 3 to 6 months. And this took me almost a year. Okay. It was so bad. So bad. He kept messing up. I ended up buying my car in Santa Monica, the Genesis. So he filed in Los Angeles when he should have filed in Selma. So every time, I never went to go pick up my car. I left it there, right? He told me, he said, leave it there. I'm your lawyer. Genesis should know all that stuff, right? Well, the car, Selma kept calling me back, calling me like, hey, you're going to come pick up your car? Come pick up your car. And I'm like, as a lawyer, if you get a lawyer, you shouldn't be talking to anybody, right? Like at all. And I kept sending him things like emails. I'm like, dude, why are they keep contacting me? Like, I should not be contacted. Like, don't they know that this is a lawsuit? And they kept like, not threatening me, but they're like, hey, listen, you're going to be charged $1,000 a day if you don't pick up your car. And I wanted to call and ask, like, do you not know that like you're getting sued? That's why, like, it's a lemon. And I don't think they knew. So whatever. He would just had really bad communication skills, okay? He wouldn't keep me updated properly. He would say things were filed, and he ended up filing the lawsuit with he ended up filing the lawsuit with Hyundai. And because that's the main corporation, well, the whole thing messed up because he should have filed it with Genesis. And that was a freaking problem. And then even when the claims department would call me, they'd be like, oh, hey, like, yeah, I can meet you in Santa Monica today. You know, they thought I lived in Los Angeles because he filed in Los Angeles. I was like, dude, I don't live in Los Angeles. Like, I bought my car in Los Angeles, in Santa Monica, but I live here. I said the closest one to me is Selma. Like, I'm not going anywhere else, you know? So it wasn't until, was it almost a year later? 10 months, 11 months later? That I finally got a freaking paycheck. So basically, when you have a lemon, how it worked for me is that I got my deposit back, which was a $10,000, and then all the money that I paid from September. So I didn't get it from the actual February. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So for 7 months, the car still worked, so I didn't have to pay for it. I mean, I had to pay for it for those 7 months. I used it, nothing happened, but September on, they kept charging me too, right? So even if my car was in the shop and while I was going through this lemon law, I still had to pay the freaking payment. And it was like almost $800. And I had to pay insurance. So can you imagine? Like, that's a lot of money that I was paying monthly on a car that I was not using. So it's not like everyone's like, go get yourself a new car. I'm like, dude, I'm paying almost $1,000 a month. Like, I can't go get me a new car. Like, and I have this freaking thing on my credit, you know? So I had to wait until everything was completely done. So me and Kenny had to share a car, and that was fine. He had a Toyota at the time, which was a really good car, but he wanted a better gas saver and he wanted electric. So he ended up getting a Tesla. But yeah, that's the story with my lemon. I ended up getting my money back, but I don't know if I would recommend that lawyer because he was so unorganized, and to me, just lack of communication. And then one thing about me is I'm like, dude, if you're getting a cut out of this, like you're getting paid, like obviously I'm not paying you, but you're getting a cut out of this. You know, like, come on, at least you could do is communicate properly, or like, why? I don't know. Anyway, so I haven't had a car since. And I'm scared to get a car. Another thing too is really quick is the Toyota. When I was pregnant with Penny, I don't know what happened. Why I was driving. Maybe I didn't have a Lexus. I didn't have the Lexus, but Penny was due in June. Oh, Kenny was probably driving the Genesis at this time. Anyway, Kenny was driving the Genesis. He liked driving it, so I was driving the Toyota in town, I think, and the moment that I went on leave is when my grandma got really sick. So from like April to June, I was taking Noni to the hospital, to Kaiser a lot, right? I'd drop her off, get her, help her out as much as I can. She did not have an IHSS worker or anyone taking care of her at this time. But anyway, I went to Kaiser to go drop her off for something. And I ended up had to come back home, but I was like 8 months pregnant and the freaking curb got in front of the car. I keep saying that, but anyway, I ended up hitting a curb and I almost hit the light post. I have no clue why. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't drive because I don't know how I can't see things. Like, I don't know why. So anyway, I had to pull over. I'm freaking out because it was a loud pop and it's a hot day again, and I call, what's it called? I call it AAA. AAA comes, and I said, oh, it's only one tire that I popped, and he was like, oh, no, you popped 2 tires. So I popped 2 freaking tires on that Toyota for running into the curb. That was sad. That was so sad because that was a chunk of money that you had to pay for. Well, now I'm carless. I don't have a car. We have a Tesla, and that works, I guess, for us in a way. But Kenny's parents ended up moving to Idaho, and they left a truck here for us to use, but it's not ours, right? But like they are allowing us to use it. But whenever they come down, it's their car, right, to use, which is fine. They're not here often. But obviously, I would love a new car. I'm scared to get a new car. I don't know how to park. And I just feel like I have the worst luck with cars. And that's my story, guys. I have had 4 car accidents, 1 lemon law, a few popped tires, lots of tickets. Another thing, too, was in the Genesis, and I was driving, and guess what? I was at the stoplight. Kenny calls me. He's FaceTiming me. And I have my phone. I don't know why I have like this magnet thing, but I pick up my phone. And I answer and I'm like, hey, and I put it on the magnet thing and I go and I'm getting pulled over behind me because I'm at the stop sign, FaceTiming Kenny. I was like, great, I'm getting pulled over. And you know what's crazy? I got pulled over or whatever. And I told like the officer, I'm like, yeah, like I'm guilty as charged. Like, just give me the ticket, So anyway, I tell Kenny though, I was like, dude, he has never been in an accident, which is thank God, right? Thank God. Never been in an accident. He has been pulled over, I think, like once. But I'm just like, I just can't believe like the worst luck that I have. I have just terrible luck. Cars give me anxiety. Driving gives me anxiety. I get so scared with anybody. Like if Penny goes anywhere with anybody and their car, that gives me anxiety. I just feel like the whole car accident thing like traumatized me. Well, guys, that is my personal story with the bad luck that I have, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about this issue. Well, thanks for chatting with Jax today. I am 30 weeks this week, guys. I have blown up completely. My feet haven't been swollen yet, but I know they will be. But I have definitely blown up. My appetite hasn't increased. I'm still good. They say the boys are supposed to come at 36 weeks for identical twins, and that's the end of April. We are March 17th, 18th right now, so 6 weeks to go. I went to Target. I got me my postpartum care kit, and I got me some new face stuff. And anyway, guys, I just find it crazy that the boys are probably going to be here soon. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for chatting with Jax. Please subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. Please subscribe to my channel because I need 500 subscribers so that way I can start making money. Yeah. Do you guys want to see me win? Like, do you guys want to see me in a car? Do you guys want to see me in a chauffeur? Even the chauffeur, if I had a chauffeur, I'd probably still freak out. Well, okay. Thanks for chatting with Jax.